Hi, my name is Dara Mason. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Los Angeles, California. I've always loved fashion, even from the time I was a little kid. When I was 2 years old, I'd even favor clothing over toys. It's kind of funny, like I was only 2 and I didn't even know myself, and I was already going towards clothing and fashion stuff. And now I basically just try on clothing for the fun of it. I love to sew. I make my own clothing on my own personal time, and I've even attended a few fashion shows. I would describe my personal design style as casual with a twist, but recently I've been experimenting with a lot of runway wear and a lot of fabrics that are more runway, more like runway style and runway materials. And I've also been doing a few formal wear pieces, and I enjoy all of them. So my design goal was to eventually own my own business and eventually sell my own clothing in boutiques, in my own boutiques. And I would say that my experience with sewing has been basically from all of my high school career. I learned how to sew during my freshman year of high school when I took a class, a fashion class at my school, where I just got basic exposure. And then during my summer before my sophomore year, I took another class at Joann's Arts and Crafts store, and I basically started making a few other pieces. And then during my junior year was when I actually started making clothing on my own time and just sewing for the fun of it in my room. And summer before my senior year, I actually took a summer 3 days of summer class at the Art Institutes of California, Los Angeles, where I had a lot of fun. I met a few people who had the same interests as me, and I got to work with them. It was great. And then during my senior year, as vice president of the fashion club in my school, I have been working on a fashion show that I'm going to be in, that I'm like actually organizing myself with another person. And also, I'm also taking a class at the Southern California Regional Occupational Center, where I'm actually learning a lot more techniques, and I've learned how to drape. I've gotten a lot better at sewing, and I even learned a few pattern making techniques, and I've learned how to make buttonholes and use an overlock machine, and I got myself an overlock machine also. And yeah, now my family and friends, they always want me to make things for them, and it's really good. It's really nice. Not like I really have time to make things that much, but it's always nice. I would say that I've designed about 20 pieces from sketch to finish. Well, actually, I haven't sketched out all of my pieces exactly, but most of them I have in my sketchbook. But a lot of the others, they just came to mind, and I just basically went off and designed it how I thought of it. And I love working with a lot of prints and a lot of contrast, so I basically just go out and get a lot of fabrics that I like, that look very interesting to me, and then apply it to my designs. So I would say that I aspire to be like Peter Pilato, because he works with a lot of contrast and works with a lot of prints, and I just love his design aesthetic, and I love his approach to fashion, and I like all the interesting prints and like fabrics that he uses. And also another designer would be Balmain Resort, that inspires me, because they use a lot of geometric shapes, and I find it very interesting and very unique. Okay, so my other hobbies outside of fashion would be drawing, bike riding, baking, and swimming. So drawing, I basically just draw my own clothing, but sometimes I draw people, and I'm also taking an art class right now, so I'm learning how to paint, I'm learning how to draw better, and just draw in perspective and all this stuff. So that's pretty interesting, and I want to actually keep doing that after my art class as well. And for bike riding, I love to ride my bike along the beach, and it's just very relaxing, and it's also a good workout. And baking, I like to bake for my fashion club mainly, because sometimes we have bake sales to raise money for the club. And I also like to bake just for the fun of it at my house. I like to bake cookies sometimes, cupcakes, cakes, whatever's there to bake. And sometimes I even make dishes like lasagna or like mac and cheese. And swimming, I only like to swim in the summer, but I don't really swim in the winter or like any other time because it's usually cold, or like I only swim in the pool because I only swim in the pool, so the pools are usually closed down, but I've been swimming for about half of my life as well. And yeah, that's about it for my other hobbies. So I would say that I need Project Runway to achieve my goals, because I just want to put my work out there, I want to have fun, and I want to meet a lot of people. It would be a great experience for me, and it would just be the opportunity to try something new and push the boundaries. And I'd love to win the scholarship to FITM, because I've always wanted to go to a fashion school, and it would allow me to, be able to afford it, and be able to attend a school where I can study more in depth in fashion design. Okay, so this is my first piece. It's a plastic jacket. So this is the front view, side, back, other side, and then back to the front. Okay, so let me explain for this piece. So I was drawing as just as an activity in my fashion class, and we were just simply drawing, and like I came up with the jacket idea, and days later I looked back, I'm like, hey, what if I made this jacket out of plastic? That would be really cool. And then I just started adding to it and saying, oh, like I can add this, I can add cutout sleeves, and I can do all this stuff. And I was wondering, is there even plastic? Do they sell plastic at the stores to work with for to make designs, to make clothing? I'm sorry. And so I went to the store. I went to downtown LA in the fashion district, and I found all this plastic. I'm like, whoa, this is so cool. And I originally wanted to make this in blue, but there was no blue plastic, and my next resort was pink. So I grabbed about 3 yards of pink fabric, and I started to make this piece. It was my most challenging piece that I've ever made, because the fabric is so thick and it has no bend to it or no give at all, because so it's very difficult to sew, and it got in the way of my when I was sewing, it got in the way, and it was just very difficult to construct, and it took me a while, but I did it. And this is one of the designs that I'm most proud of, and I would consider it runway ready only, because it's just not for casual wear, anything to walk down the street in. Here it is. Okay, so this is one of my darker pieces that I've made, and I'm going to show you the front. This is the front. This is the side. This is the back. And this is the other side. And remember when I said that I don't just make one piece, I make the whole outfit? So here you go. I also made a tank top to go with it. And this is the side. and then back, other side, and then front. So, for this piece, I originally was in downtown LA in a fabric store, and I found this very interesting fabric, and I was intrigued by it. I just kept going back to it. I'm like, I can make so many things out of this. And I came back a month later or so, and I'm like, I have to get this fabric. I had gotten a swatch before of the fabric, so I came back. I'm like, where is this fabric? And I found it, and then I bought it, and along with all this other fabric. And this sweater, I was actually inspired to make this by a boutique that I love that's down the street from my house. They also had the idea of using this fabric as well with contrast. And I'm like, hey, this is a great idea. Like, I love contrast. And then I just changed it up. It wasn't exactly a sweater or tank top and shorts, but I made it that way for my own design aesthetic. And here it is. I'm very proud of this, and it was quite a bit of work and quite a bit of construction and pattern alteration. Here it is. Okay, so this is one of my unconventional / conventional pieces of work. It's my first swimsuit that I've made, and this is my first circle skirt because I wanted to go back to the challenge of making the plastic jacket, so I went back to working with plastic, and I made a plastic skirt. And I drew this whole outfit out just one Saturday when I just thought of this. Here's the front, here's the side, here's the back, and other side, and back to the front.